My name is John Matthews. I am 62 years old. All my life, I have been a devout Christian, a faithful servant of a belief system that guided every step of my journey. Each Sunday morning, I stood at the pulpit, delivering sermons with heartfelt conviction, hoping to inspire hope, moral strength, and unity in my community. I dedicated my existence to serving others, convinced that my purpose was divinely ordained. Yet nothing in my long, familiar life could have prepared me for the night when death came so close that it shattered the very foundation of my faith. I was born in a small town in Missouri, the son of a respected pastor and a gentle teacher of the Scriptures. From a young age, I memorized Bible verses, internalizing the teachings of Jesus as if they were etched into my soul. My family's constant refrain, "John, God has chosen you for service," echoed in my heart and set me on the path I followed for decades. I eventually succeeded my father, serving the same congregation, officiating marriages, comforting the bereaved at funerals, and guiding the youth at summer camps. My life was steady and predictable, a journey marked by unyielding faith and unwavering routine. Then, one fateful day in a stark hospital room, everything changed. A doctor delivered the devastating news: advanced stage pancreatic cancer. In that moment, time seemed to slow, and a profound stillness descended upon me. I prayed fervently for a miracle as the congregation joined in supplication, anointing me with holy oil. Yet beneath the surface of these prayers, I felt an inexplicable emptiness, a void that no amount of faith or devotion could fill. I found myself questioning why the God I had so trusted remained silent in my moment of greatest need. As chemotherapy began its relentless assault, both my body and spirit started to wither. I clung desperately to the familiar verses of the Bible, reciting them as if they could stave off the inevitable. But one agonizing night, overwhelmed by searing pain, I collapsed. My heart pounded erratically, my vision dimmed, and the last images that gripped my mind were the blaring sirens of an ambulance and the tear-streaked face of my beloved wife. In that liminal space between life and death, I experienced something extraordinary. Detached from my physical form, I observed the frantic efforts of doctors and the urgent shouts of nurses. Amidst the chaos of beeping machines and desperate cries, an unexpected calm enveloped me. A sensation of liberation, as if the weight of all my earthly burdens had been lifted. Then, emerging from the darkness, I saw a brilliant, inviting light. Drawn toward it, I heard a melodious, otherworldly voice, unlike any hymn I had ever known. Its sound resonated deeply within me, stirring emotions and truths that I had long suppressed. The voice gently proclaimed, "There is no God but Allah." For a fleeting instant, the word Allah sent a shiver through my entire being. Throughout my life, I had encountered that name in whispered tones, in distant writings, sometimes laden with misunderstanding and prejudice. Yet in that moment, it wrapped around me like a warm embrace, soothing and beckoning me closer with its tender resonance. Suddenly, a vivid vision unfolded before my eyes. I found myself in an idyllic garden, lush and teeming with life. Birds sang in harmonious choruses, and a clear, gentle stream wound its way through vibrant foliage. For a brief moment, I believed I had arrived in paradise, but the serenity was ephemeral. In a blink, the flourishing trees withered, the stream dried up, and a deep, encroaching darkness took their place. In the midst of that void, a commanding voice broke the silence. "Are you ready to confront your truth, John?" Before me, amidst swirling shadows, a majestic throne materialized. Seated upon it was a figure bathed in radiant, ethereal light, their features indistinct yet imbued with divine presence. At the foot of the throne, books cascaded to the ground. The first to fall was the Bible, its pages fluttering open as if to recite the cherished verses of my childhood. Then, almost as if guided by destiny, another book appeared, the Quran. As its pages turned, luminous verses flowed forth like streams of revelation. One passage resonated clearly. "And say, your Lord is the possessor of all things. So let those who will believe and those who will disbelieve. This verse, gentle yet profound, hinted at a unity of truth and the freedom to choose one's path. A tremor of realization surged through me. A soft, inquisitive voice emerged from the vision asking, "John, you love Jesus, but have you ever considered that he too was merely a humble servant of the one true God?" In that moment, a memory of a familiar verse, "I can do nothing on my own," John 5:30, flashed before my eyes, reshaping my lifelong convictions. Perhaps the divine nature I had attributed to Jesus was not as I once believed. Perhaps he was not the embodiment of divinity, but rather a cherished prophet, a messenger tasked with conveying God's will. The certainty I had known all my life began to crumble, replaced by a profound sense of interconnected truth and purpose. When I awoke, I was back in the hospital, my body trembling and gasping for breath, surrounded by the concerned faces of nurses. I was alive, yet forever transformed by what I had experienced. The encounter had ignited an inner awakening, a stirring so powerful that it could not be ignored. I found myself drawn to the words of the Quran, even though I did not speak Arabic. Slowly, I absorbed the English translations, each word affirming a newfound truth that resonated with every fiber of my being. Every verse seemed to illuminate the questions that the Bible had left unanswered, stitching together a tapestry of unity and divine oneness. In time, my transformation led me to a moment of undeniable clarity. One day, I summoned the courage to speak with Ahmed, a compassionate Muslim nurse who had cared for me during my darkest hours. With tears glistening in his eyes and a warmth in his voice, he grasped my hand and said, "John, you have already embraced the truth. Now let your heart speak it aloud." Overwhelmed by a sense of liberation and certainty, I recited the Shahada. Ashhadu alla ilaha illallah wa ashhadu anna Muhammadan abduhu wa rasuluh. As the sacred words left my lips, I felt an indescribable peace, a surrender to a truth that filled the void in my soul and redefined my very existence. Even now, as my illness continues to challenge my fragile body, my spirit remains buoyant and resolute. Death, once a source of terror, now appears as a gentle transition, a passage into an eternal embrace with the divine. I continue to cherish Jesus, yet I now honor him as a revered prophet, a guide who illuminated the path toward this profound awakening. My family, though struggling to understand the depth of my transformation, witnesses the serene clarity with which I now live each day. In these final moments, I stand at the threshold of a new beginning, embracing the unknown with gratitude and unwavering conviction. My heart is filled with a luminous faith, a faith that has mended the fractures of my former beliefs and revealed a unified truth beyond all boundaries. With every breath I take, I affirm the divine unity that has come to define my life. And as I prepare to take my final step into eternity, I do so with a soul at peace, ready to be reunited with the eternal light that has forever transformed me. With a quiet, resolute whisper, I declare, La ilaha illallah. As the days turned into weeks, and the weeks into months of my recovery, I found myself immersed in a journey of introspection and relentless questioning. The transformation that began on that fateful night did not simply vanish with the pain of illness. Rather, it took root in the depths of my soul, growing into a steady, quiet certainty. I spent countless hours in solitude, reflecting on the paradoxes of faith and the intricate tapestry of divine guidance that wove together both the familiar and the unknown. I revisited the sermons of my youth, now with eyes that perceived not only the literal words, but also the subtle interplay of meaning hidden within them. It was as if each verse had a dual existence, a surface of comforting tradition, and an undercurrent of mystery that beckoned me to explore further. During this period of reflection, I began to see my past beliefs in a new light. The sermons I once delivered, full of assurance and certainty, now echoed with questions I had never dared to ask before. How could a faith that had provided so much solace in times of need remain silent in the face of mortal agony? Why had the divine seemed distant when I needed guidance the most? These questions propelled me to explore alternative perspectives with an open heart. I sought out wisdom from diverse sources, reading texts that I had once dismissed or overlooked. In doing so, I discovered an intricate web of interconnected truths, a mosaic of spiritual insights that transcended the boundaries of any single tradition. The Quran, in particular, spoke to me in ways that the Bible never had. Its verses, imbued with a sense of unity and divine oneness, resonated with the latent questions that had plagued my heart for so long. I found in its words a clarity that was both gentle and profound, a message that invited me to reconsider what I had long held as absolute. This was not an abandonment of my past, but rather an evolution of my understanding, a synthesis of the cherished and the new, woven together into a tapestry of faith that felt both inclusive and liberating. I remember long, sleepless nights spent poring over translations and commentaries, each word sparking a chain of reflections that challenged and enriched my perspective. I began to appreciate the beauty of questioning, realizing that the quest for truth is not a journey with a single, final destination, but a continuous process of discovery. In the quiet moments of contemplation, I felt a profound connection to something greater than myself, a divine presence that embraced all paths and all seekers of truth. Yet this journey was not without its challenges. The transformation in my beliefs created a rift between my new self and those who had known me as a steadfast Christian preacher. My family struggled to reconcile the man they had always known with the one I had become. Their confusion, their doubts, and even their silent judgments weighed on me. But even as I faced the sorrow of misunderstood love, I clung to the certainty that the path I had chosen was true for me. In every prayer I uttered, in every moment of silent reflection, I felt an assurance that transcended the confines of any single religious tradition. In the end, I learned that faith is not about rigid doctrines or unyielding dogmas. It is a living, breathing journey, a personal odyssey that evolves with every experience and every revelation. I now understand that my love for Jesus remains, but it has transformed into a broader, more inclusive reverence. I see him not as the exclusive vessel of divinity, but as one among many prophets who have illuminated the human path toward understanding the divine. This realization does not diminish my past. Instead, it enriches my present and paves the way for a future filled with hope and a deeper connection to the universal truth that binds us all. In this new chapter of my life, each breath is a testament to the resilience of the human spirit and the boundless capacity for transformation. I embrace the uncertainty of what lies ahead with a serene confidence, knowing that my journey, though fraught with pain and loss, has led me to a place of inner peace and enlightenment. My soul is at once fragile and invincible, a paradox that reflects the intricate beauty of existence itself. I now understand that life is not a series of certainties, but rather a mosaic of experiences, each piece essential, each moment a chance to rediscover the divine in the everyday. With this renewed vision, I face my future with gratitude and a calm acceptance. I'm no longer the man who once preached sermons from a place of unquestioned belief. I have become a seeker, a wanderer on the vast landscape of spirituality, ever curious and eternally sincere in my quest for truth. And as I prepare to take my final steps on this earthly journey, I do so with the serene knowledge that every ending is but a new beginning, every farewell a prelude to an eternal reunion with the divine. In the quiet of my heart, I whisper one final truth, a truth that has reshaped my very being and will guide me into the next realm. La ilaha illallah. In the stillness of each new day, as the light of dawn crept slowly over the horizon, I found myself immersed in a quiet dialogue with the universe. The gentle rustle of leaves, the soft murmur of the wind, and the distant call of a morning bird became the chorus of a hidden truth that resonated deep within me. In these moments of solitude, I began to perceive life as a vast, interconnected tapestry, where every thread was woven with intention and care by a force far greater than my limited understanding. I often wandered through nature's embrace, seeking answers in the subtle interplay of shadows and light. The delicate bloom of a flower, unfolding in silent splendor, reminded me of the transient beauty of life, a beauty that was both fragile and enduring. I marveled at the resilience of nature, which, despite the harshness of winter and the unpredictability of storms, always found a way to bloom anew. This cyclical dance of growth and decay, of beginnings and endings, echoed the very rhythm of my own existence. During long walks in the countryside, I would sit by a quiet stream, its clear waters reflecting the sky and the tender shoots of green that framed its banks. There, in the gentle flow of water and the soft gurgle of its current, I sensed a profound metaphor for life itself, a continuous journey, ever-changing yet eternally the same. I realized that just as the stream carves its path through the landscape, so too does each soul carve its own destiny, guided by the currents of fate and the unseen hand of providence. These reflections brought me to a deeper understanding of surrender and acceptance. I learned that to truly embrace the divine, one must let go of the need for absolute certainty and instead allow the mystery of existence to unfold naturally. Every moment became a lesson in humility and wonder, a chance to experience the sacred in the ordinary. The laughter of children, the warmth of a shared smile, even the quiet moments of introspection, all wove together to form a mosaic of beauty that defied simple explanation. As I continued on my path, I discovered that the search for truth was not a solitary endeavor, but a shared journey among all of humanity. Every person I encountered carried within them a spark of that same divine light, a fragment of the eternal that connected us all. In conversations with strangers, in the silent exchange of glances with fellow travelers, I recognized the universal language of the soul, a language that spoke of hope, resilience, and the enduring power of love. In these interactions, I felt the true essence of what it meant to be alive. Through every trial and triumph, I came to understand that the journey of faith is as much about the questions we ask as it is about the answers we seek. It is a path marked by moments of doubt and bursts of clarity, where each step forward is a delicate dance between the known and the unknown. And in that dance, I discovered a rhythm uniquely my own, a cadence that celebrated the mystery of life and the promise of renewal. With each heartbeat, I sensed the pulse of creation, a reminder that every end heralds a new beginning. With this understanding, I stand on the threshold of what lies ahead, unafraid and filled with gratitude. The memories of my past, the revelations of my present, and the hopes for my future converge into a single, radiant vision of love and unity. Every moment is a cherished note in the grand symphony of existence, a reminder that the light of truth endures even in our darkest hours. As I prepare to embrace the mystery of what comes next, I carry with me the timeless conviction that my journey, with all its twists and turns, is part of an ever-unfolding story. My soul, ever curious and resilient, continues to seek, to learn, and to love, guided by a faith as boundless as the heavens themselves.